It's round 4 of the Austeam Racing BlancPain Sprint Series from Oulton Park International. Qualifying's already been completed, and it was Rod Savage in a 1:17.67 in the Aston Martin ahead of Grant Morrison in the McLaren in the 1:17.74 and Matt Cooper in the Audi with the 1:17.78, so less than 1/10 of a second from first to third. We have Gavin Chatt in the Ferrari in 4th, Phil McKee in the Nissan in 5th, Benj Lundgren in the BMW in 6th, and Doug Savage starting from 7th in that Mercedes. And looks like we have a beautiful clean getaway from all the cars on the grid, and it's Rod Savage in the Aston Martin GTR who slots himself into first place. Grant Morrison in the McLaren sitting right on his rear bumper. Looks like Matt Cooper in the Audi took to the grass, and that's allowed Gavin Chatt in the Ferrari through to third place. Behind them is Benj Lundgren sitting right on Matt Cooper's tail. And then we have Phil McKee in the Nissan, and a little bit further back is Doug Savage in the Mercedes. We head down to the hairpin turn for the first time. Looks like Matt Cooper's going to have a big look down the inside. Gavin Chatt's out-braked himself, so that allows Matt Cooper through back into third place. And Gavin Chatt will slot into 4th on the back of the freight train that's running of Rod Savage in the Aston Martin, Grant Morrison in the McLaren, Matt Cooper in the Audi, and Gavin Chatt in the Ferrari. That's your first 4 competitors at the moment. Not much gap between them all. We flick back to the front, and it's still Rod Savage. And all 12 cylinders in that Aston Martin are going to be firing hard, because that McLaren right behind him is very handy under brakes, and I'm sure he's going to be trying to have a look up the inside when they get closer to that hairpin turn, and any sort of invitation for Grant, and he'll be right in there. We head round the last turn, and they're all closing up again now. It's positions unchanged. Rod Savage in first, Grant Morrison second, Matt Cooper in third as they complete the first lap and head down into the first turn one more time. We now look back towards 4th place. It's Gavin Chatt as he heads down into the hairpin turn. Car gets a bit sideways on the entry under brakes. It looks like it was a compression lockup, or the back end's just snapped away from him under brakes. He's just brushed the tyre wall a little bit. He's able to gather it up and head back down towards the chicane, but he's got company this time, and it's Benj Lundgren in the BMW, so a bit of a drag race down to the next turn. And as they hit the brakes, it looks like, Gavin Chatt's had a big moment. I'm not sure whether he got a hand there or not from the car behind him, but there's pieces scattered everywhere. Head back towards the front, and Rod Savage still holding down a little lead. I wouldn't call it sizable, but it's definitely a small lead. And they head down in the hairpin turn, and that McLaren just gets closer on the back. He gets really close this time because Rod Savage outbrakes himself, and Grant Morrison just saying hello. And it's Gavin Chatt just exiting the pits, the Ferrari being put back together after a slight little altercation. And we now look back towards the front, and now that gap is starting to open a little bit more, and Rod Savage is just sort of cruising away. Grant Morrison not letting him get too far, and Matt Cooper is just hanging back there. I'm not sure whether there's a problem or not. There is a problem for Grant Morrison. He's turned it around on the last turn, and that's going to drop him a bundle of time. Gavin Chatt exiting the first turn for another lap, gets it a little bit wrong on the exit of the curb there, and just noses himself into the wall. We look now at the Mercedes of Doug Savage. What a beautiful sounding car this is. I always enjoy it when it's on camera, and never fails to disappoint. But that's gonna hurt. We look back to 2nd place, and it's Grant Morrison in the McLaren. He's still chasing down Rod Savage in 1st place. Looks like he gets a little bit wide. Into the sand trap, straight through and into the fence, and that's going to be a retirement. Benj Lundgren in the BMW, looks like he's in about 3rd place at the moment, heads down towards the hairpin. He suffers the same problem as Gavin Chatt, and just a bit of a lock up there, and the back end gets away from him. And it's Gavin Chatt one more time, heading down into the same corner where Grant Morrison had a problem, and yes, he's suffered the same problem, so I wonder if he's tried the same line as Grant, and it certainly doesn't pay off. And look what else our camera has caught. That's 2nd place Phil McKee. He's had a big moment over the back heading towards the last turn. One such car that has been untroubled all the way through is the number 89 Aston Martin of Rod Savage. He's had a pretty trouble-free run. In fact, he's taking a bit of a green line, maybe having a little bit of celebration before. Yes, it looks like he is. A 360 before the start-finish line. Most people do their celebrations after the checker flag, but Rod's got such amount of time on his hands that he can do victory pretty much any time he wants. So congratulations, a well-deserved first place. Second place will go to the Nissan of Phil McKee, who's just been trying to keep himself out of trouble. He had one little indiscretion there at the back of the circuit, but otherwise a very solid run. In third place it will be Benj Lundgren in the BMW. He's also managed to keep himself out of trouble. He just had one or two little minor scuffs there, but the car is looking pretty straight. And in fourth place, and the last runner on the track, is the hastily repaired Ferrari of Gavin Chatt. Credit to him, he managed to keep the car going with a lot of help from his mechanics. So the points after round 4, Rod Savage has now jumped up to the lead with that win. He now leads on 65 points ahead of Matt Cooper on 57 and Travis Fox on 50, with Phil McKee and Doug Savage filling out the top 5. Remember to go to austeamracing.com for more information about the Austeam Racing Series.